didn't have the firm, benevolent hand. The sovereign to guide them. Here on Eden, we all enjoy the full luxury the paradigm affords us.
This looks like the place. No, I haven't felt this high-strung since Horizon Point. Just hope he's here.
Niles.
Howdy, Zeb. You look... well.
Has my mind been set upon by shadows? I thought you dead.
Can't imagine why you think that. I've only been gone 4 years.
Oh, back from your little saunter then, are you? Head all cleared? I must say you took quite the perambulation. I hope you didn't wear out your rotation adapters.
Zeb, this is the commander I told you about. One in charge of the Horizon Point mission.
Ah, yes. The same commander who nobly ordered you to leave your colleague to perish under rubble.
I know it, Commander. We all did the best we could on that mission.
Perhaps my words were too pointed. It is difficult to erase the memory of how Niles came to me, half torn up, on the border between life and death. But that was years ago. So, you are keeping company these days. Just not mine. That would depend on what vision you have for Arcadia's future. Everyone seems to think they alone know what's best for this colony.
Look, I'm not just here to gas you up with empty apologies. I want to set things right between us.
Oh, now you want to help. Where were you when the war happened? Or when I was being carted off to mental refreshment? Where were you when I actually needed you?
I know I let you down before, but give me a chance to earn back your trust. There must be something I can lend you a hand with. I know you haven't given up the fight.
I haven't the time to patch your bleeding conscience, Niles. I'm in a situation that demands my full attention.
It's Baines. My team's been caught. Pharaoh and March are dead. Protectorate are holding the rest for interrogation. A ship is inbound to take us off-world, to the consul himself. I barely managed to evade capture. Damn it! It looks like the data went through, but there's something wrong with the connection. The cipher isn't transmitting...
Found her! You there! Step away from that terminal at once!
Audra! Oh, fuck! It's all coming apart. That was one of my operatives. I organized a mission to infiltrate the Vox to acquire valuable intelligence. But obviously, something's gone wrong. Without that cipher, the intelligence is worthless. But I'm more concerned about my people at the moment. If you're sincere in your desire to help, prove it. Rescue my friends before that ship departs with them on board. Please.
I am. Without question.
Okay. If they're sending a ship, that means my people are being held on the Vox's landing pad. Use my call sign so they'll know you for an ally. I'm certain Niles remembers it. And do exercise discretion, as well as caution. The guards at the Vox won't hesitate to fire upon you, should you be discovered.
Not to worry. This is exactly the sort of thing we're trained to handle.
Yes, but the uniform doesn't stop bullets, as I'm sure you recall.
Good thing we know a doctor then.
Then let's hope the ship also takes its time arriving, and that my friend's pain threshold withstands any attempts to soften them up for the consul. I'll answer what I can. If you must know, it was my sister. A neighbor reported her for some misconduct and she was taken to be refreshed. I never heard what her alleged crime was meant to be. The woman who returned was nigh unrecognizable. The injustice of it rattled me. And once I began to look into what had happened, the more discomfort I felt. Then I met Niles. He told me the truth about other colonies. Made Arcadia feel so small, claustrophobic, repressive. And my smoldering resentments became a full conflagration. Stop there. I know what you would ask, but I've done my best to put that unpleasant experience behind me. Please respect my wish to avoid reopening closed wounds.
I see you have not brought my cousin to heal. Have you at least seen about Ida? Do hurry. I might remind you that I am on increasingly borrowed time.
Gray gone astray? Book a stay today. Are you mentally refreshed?
Huh. Well, at least it's not shooting the water anymore. Visitors, huh? Just meandering about, free of any appointed minder? Not so sure I ought to be speaking with you. If you need someone to talk to hereabouts, I suggest you seek out Vigilant Hogarth. That tall, stately building back yonder is his domicile.
Hogarth. Milver Street reckons he's the key to converting this town. Let's bring him the good news of Auntie's choice, shall we?
Do hate to come off impolite. If you're so inclined, we can pick this up later, after you two confabulate.
Epitomizes the pinnacle of social order. Why? Because the
Apologies, but I don't believe I should be discussing such matters with you without permission. Once you report to the Vigilant, I'd be happy to speak freely. Word to the wise, despite what you might hear, we still consider ourselves part of the Protectorate. Anyone spots an outsider engaging in misdeeds might just open fire.
poor dears didn't have the firm benevolent hand of the sovereign to guide them. Here on Eden, we all enjoy the full
Everything? Literally everything I own. Prudence dictates. We cherish all we have and defend it.
purpose, time for recreation. We sleep well at night. Work isn't strenuous or stressful. Food is nutritious and plentiful. We have everything we need. Prudence dictates. We take a moment to rapidly it all and thank the sovereign.
You are the raw material for perfection. From the lowliest subject to the most exalted vigilant, we must all fulfill our duty to the Protector. We're all in this together.
Greetings.
Feeling distracted?
It is my esteemed pleasure to welcome you to Westport, once a shining testament to protectorate excellence, now a picturesque example of the evils of corporatism. But where are my manners? We do not have much, but please let me offer you some victuals. Tut. I insist. Serving Unit 1. Something for the visitor at once?
Confirmative.
Perhaps you're wondering why I'd open my arms thusly for a stranger. Simple. As the guiding light for humankind, we always put our best foot forward, regardless of circumstance.
Our enemies envy our prosperity.
I believe something still can be done. This town can be saved, its people given a reprieve. Were we to acquire the one thing vital to our existence: automech parts. What?
Comestibles served.
We of the Protectorate pride ourselves on our mech programming. Among the vigilant, it is even considered something of a sport. We are not miracle workers, however. Without parts to work with, we've no hope of remaking our mechs to do tasks beyond their initial functions. We need repair mechs, domestic mechs, not combat ones. Serving Unit 1 here is about as much as can be accomplished without replacement parts. We are of like minds. We lack not the skill to do so. Our wily chief mechanist can reprogram the mech, but not without parts. Unfortunately, we lack ready availability of said parts.
Work isn't strenuous or stressful.
Why, we're traitors, obviously. We've not fulfilled our duties as members of the Protectorate. It is incumbent upon us to fight to the death, yet we still live, as does our enemy. Now, either the arbiters arrive to execute us, or this place falls under the vapid boot heel of Auntie's choice. No matter who wins, we cannot sustain ourselves here for long.
From the lowliest subject to the most exalted vigilant.
These fine and decent folk don't deserve having their lives thrown away on account of my failures. If I can return the settlement to a reasonable facsimile of its previous glory, sufficiently functioning by employing mechs reprogrammed to repair and rebuild, the arbiters might see fit to penalize only me, commute the others' sentences, allow them to maintain things around here in the spirit of continuity and such.
Look around. If the Protectorate wanted to do right by you, you wouldn't be starving and wallowing in this metal quagmire. You want to help your people? Go to Fairfield.
Fairfield? Why, they're the reason we're in this mess. You'll forgive me for questioning such timely offers of generosity and kindness. No thank you, not interested. I owe it to every single person here to try.
Balance even the most robust ecosystem, like those nettlesome raptidons or the base individualists within Auntie's choice.
Nobody needs go anywhere, not when we can still save Westport. We of the Protectorate endure as one, regardless of any hardships we must face. It'd have to be catastrophically obvious this place was doomed, and incontrovertibly beyond my means to save it, before I'd even consider such a recourse.
As ever, but prudence dictates we give it a little extra added zeal for
When I look outside, I see people who are hardy and resilient, who trust the paradigm, who understand prosperity will return with time and group effort. I have the aid of key pillars of our community. several persons of note and good character who stand with and by me, and our town still functions. Our automechs are still running, mostly. We have a generator to power them, fresh water, the reassuring voice of everyone's neighbor Prudence wafts from our loudspeakers.
Entered a recreant locality. Record states as follows. All inhabitants are declared treasonous due to insufficient zeal in defense against seizure.
I don't know. Look, I've entertained these fool notions of yours long enough. There's no use pursuing such a fruitless line of thinking further. I have a brighter future in mind for Westport, one you can help with, in fact, rather than dwelling on dark maybes and scenarios of worst imagining.
Everyone knows the paradigm epitomizes
Not the first to question my judgment, nor the last, I suppose. One expects a certain lack of social graces from those raised outside the Protectorate. Let us talk plainly. What would it take to secure your aid?
societies were constantly out of balance. Individualism ran
What sort of payment do you seek? Don't imagine we have much you need.
led to terrible suffering. Poor dears didn't have the firm benevolence.
Enough to lead and inspire those who work there, once at least. I was previously the ranking vigilant on this island. Why do you ask?
A perfect life of contentment and plenty. We have community.
Difficult place to saunter into. Stations off limits to anyone without the highest security clearance. For anyone lacking reason to be there, it's assured suicide. In exchange for the automech parts we need, I can provide you means to get inside. Never dream of such a proposal in days of reason and quietude. Yet such is the here and now we find ourselves in. Wonderful. My unavoidable march to the gallows feels lighter already. At least now my subjects will have a fleeting chance. The parts can be found at the Euphoria Coast Automech Repair Center to the south, but do not, under any circumstances, tell those stationed there why you need them. To get inside, you will need an access pass from the Ministry of Accuracy. Since we have all been marked as traitors, I cannot create one for you here.
The native flora and fauna, the pleasant atmosphere, and rich natural resources.
Farewell now.
Fascinatingly complex ecological network. To govern it,
Hey, Commander,
the matriarch.
could I have a word with you real quick? I hope you're not seriously considering helping the Protectorate here. I know these folks seem on the down and out, but we're as like to do more harm than good by siding with them.
Does our part, produces glorious bounty for all. Naturally, sometimes challenges do arise. We all know how
Right.
invasive species.
Okay. Well, if we do as Milverstreet's asked and convert the populace to Anti's choice, they're more likely to get the care they need and not be sentenced to death. Milverstreet also promised us a way into the Vox. Oh, and a Ritzy hat. Man drives a hard bargain, if he can be trusted. Reviving Westport would anger some folks back in Fairfield, but there's no question the Vigilant could help us get into the Vox station a whole heck of a lot easier.
Doing your job with pride. Keep informing on your neighbors. Same as ever. But prudence dictates we give it a little extra added.
Your heart's rightly placed, Commander, but past experience has taught me that sometimes helping causes more harm than good. That's all I'm getting at.
Gray gone astray? Book a stay today. Are you mentally refreshed? Under Protectorate law, we are bound to inform you that you have entered a recreant locality. Record states as follows.
Given the condition of this place, I'd assume no shortage of willing spirits eager for a way out. But then, reason's sometimes hard to come by with the Protectorate. Before you make a decision one way or the other, let's ask around. See what the residents have to say. No use trying to lift up those attached to the muck.
Envy our prosperity, disdain our sense of community. They sneer at our contentment.
Well, it's infected. That's You walked in here under your own steam and appear reasonably free of cuts, burns, or weeping lesions. So, I assume you're presently devoid of mortiferous injuries. Good. Because we've got more of that than we can handle. Don't suppose you have any medical supplies to spare, do you? That you might kindly consider donating? Oh, no thank you. Not looking for anything that does more harm than good. I have enough ailments to manage already. From what I've heard about Auntie's medicaments, might poison a patient or cause them to grow an extra head or something. Never know what they're testing out on you.
My extra parts aren't side effects. That's your implication. And anyhow, I should think some minor side effects would be preferable to dying.
Well, fear I've little time for idle chatter. If you'll excuse me, others do need my attention.
Word on the wireless?
Stay true, outsider.
Outsider?
To deliberate is to court ruin.
My body is covered in burns acquired in battle during the attack. I wish I could program an automech to feel these feelings I'm feeling. You know, instead.
You've returned.
Prudence dictates we maintain sufficient zeal at all times.
Like those netopsopraptidons, or the base individualists within Auntie's choice.
Trust the plan, preserve set progress, sustain the system, serve the sovereign.
A fine quote. My favorite is, we must rout all disruptive factors and invasive elements.
Keep doing your
May safety, amity, and ease be yours.
The wireless said that flooding Westport is routine maintenance.
Prudence dictates that we watch our neighbors, but I may just invite him over to make it easier.
Manipulative, indoctrinatory falsity.
During the attack. Still hurts to breathe.
Why? Because the matriarch herself designed it, and the sovereign embodies and executes on it. Throughout history, humans were constantly out of balance. Individualism ran rampant. Depletion of resources and lack of community led to terrible suffering. Volunteers didn't have the firm benevolent hand of the sovereign.
Did you know that in Auntie's Choice, we don't pre-select your assignment at birth? It's true. No computronic doodads, no permanent roles, just good old-fashioned freedom. In fact, the former Protectorate subjects now abiding in Fairfield are free to choose...
Apologies for not noticing you there. Wasn't paying rapt attention to those assuasive loudspeaker messages. No. Caught me reciting passages from a beacon to the cosmos, illustrating my steadfast fidelity. All subjects prosper under the guidance of our beneficent ruler, the Sovereign. That part always hits me directly. To quote my personal log, an essential passage, rightful and true. Charlton Weintraub.
So pack your bags and get ready to think for yourself, choose for yourself.
Did I? Not again. Oh, this? It's a birthmark, skin condition, both, about which I am rather sensitive, thank you very kindly. Say, you are every bit you seem, yes? Thoroughly on the up and up and in no way a hidden agent? It is widely known that a sentinel is required to stand revealed before rendering judgment. Why, a plot point about that featured prominently in the latest episode of I, Red Cloak.
Of course you believe everything on the Aether Wave. I guess it would be stranger if you didn't swallow the propaganda, even if it does take some heavy dramatic license.
No, nothing could be farther from the truth. Listen.
Well, you appear to be far more fluent with Sentinel procedure than I. Veiled implication understood. If you'll excuse me, I best return to my work tasks. If you were a Sentinel, or in some Sentinel-adjacent role, I'd of course be honored to have you inspect my belongings. Unfortunately, my house is currently besieged by Crabbles. In any case, back to it. The Matriarch and Sovereign chose Eden, the perfect ecotope, as our home, and devised the paradigm as
Start
a great way to maintain it.
freedom, revel in choice.
Almost missed the route. Got something on my mind. Did you hear that message over the loudspeakers? About choosing your chosen profession? That Milver Street fellow said in Fairfield you can, if I understood correctly, opt for any job you show proficiency. Could that truly be true? Or is it a base falsity foisted by Auntie's choice to, you know, undermine Protectorate subjects' unflagging resolve? Oh, and they hire you too. You're not simply assigned a role, but you, I guess, need to prove competence? And maybe even expertise? What? Oh, yes. Goodbye.
Citizens of the Protectorate, this war has forced you into an untenable position. You have no water. You have no food. Your medical supplies...
These things take time, Commander. Sorry, ain't ready yet.
transformed for the best.
Why choose just any choice when you could choose Auntie's choice? Remember, Auntie knows best.
These new official announcements sure are confusing. Don't suppose you checked in with Vigilant Hogarth yet, eh? Oh, glad to hear. Probably sprung an important task on you afterwards, I'd wager. I mentioned to the Vigilant how I'd reset my chef mech to prepare meals to my liking. Next thing you know, he puts me in charge of repairing all the mechs in Westport. I mean, sure. All the underlying logic's the same, if you mull it over. I've been trained to run them big algae processing units, which are a fair amount more complex. It's just... subjects are expected to mind their assigned area and particular forte. So I was a mite taken aback. But I am happy to help the system abide any way I am able. I think he's bearing up admirably given recent events. Which, of course, are completely fine, and we are all in no way concerned about. The system being resilient and all. Hogarth's reliable as the Arcadian sun. I mean, I know it'll burn out in about 12 billion years and all, but considering our meager lifespan, that's plenty dependable enough for me. Not to indulge in idle talk, but things have been different around here of late. Not at all overwhelmed or terrified of dying, though, of course. The system abides. That Milver Street fellow said in Fairfield you can, if I understood correctly, opt for any job you show proficiency. Could that truly be true? Or is it a base falsity foisted by Auntie's choice to, you know, undermine Protectorate subjects' unflagging resolve? You don't say. Huh. So it's only here with our, perfect society that it works our way. How, fortunate for us all to benefit from such judicious guidance. What?
Untenable position. You have no water. You have no food. Your medical supplies dwindle as your rooms
Normally.
threaten to collapse atop you.
The Outlander I spoke with before. What brings you back around?
Suffering cannot continue. Listen to your hearts. Come to Fairfield, bastion of the
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm actually quite relieved a fellow customer like yourself somehow saw through my carefully maintained act. Others in Westport fail to perceive my true nature. I am hardly one of the herd around here. A reference you'll no doubt recognize from those keen Auntie's Choice commercials. Ha! The same ones I immoderately reference. You likely guessed their influence right off, what with my assertive attitude and all. I laugh at danger. I hand make my own luck. That character is a revelation. You and I are just like him. Get up and go-getters. Say, did Auntie's Choice send you here? Don't fret. I am exceedingly skilled at keeping secrets. If I am not the person for it, I would be most surprised. Do tell. Ugh, my uncle's child. That side of the family is obstinate and mean. No, I'd hardly risk life and limb trying to convert her.
Laboratories for purposes we may only guess at. The Pan-Pharmacon 5 is now available to you, the unremarkable everyday consumer. Step inside.
That seems neither prudent nor wise. I value my neck and do not intend to hang.
Ailments is dropsy, sciatica, narcolepsy, rickets, night sweats, and
Oh, did you have another mission in mind? One especially designed for my unique talents?
ask your doctor if a walk-in industrial microwave is right for you.
Really? What was he like? Bold? Assertive? With a wildly obstreperous theatrical air?
And Artificial Additives Division has proudly announced its latest innovation.
An audacious proposal. Yet this place, despite its recent humidity, remains comfortable and familiar.
Not only does it save the company a fortune, it's so unnaturally sweet it's
With a full case, I might gorge upon such sweet goodness morning, noon, and night. All right, hand it over. Oh, but what would vigilant Hogarth say? What would everyone say? I can scarcely imagine it. Abandoning my community only to satisfy my gastronomical urges and risk-taking attitude. No, I couldn't leave unless Hogarth ordered everyone to go.
The K lets you know it's authentic. Now with 110% of your daily chemical...
Righto. Well, you seem rather confident. Best of luck, I suppose. You are surely going to need it. Please inform me when, of course, you receive it.
It's like sour milk and...
As a recent convertee to Auntie's Choice, I'd be honored to share my maverick, individualist perspective. Well, I can tell you someone who thinks he's important. Pinckney. Ever since he became interim chief mechanist, he's been crying day and night about that generator. If anything happens to that thing, I worry for his mind.
Delicious taste, new from Auntie's Choice, where nature ends, we begin.
If I am not the person for it, I would be most surprised. Do tell.
And she'll give you a facial sprint. Your co-worker rivals get sleepy after consuming a full meal.
Not me.
My uncle's child. That side of the family is that seems neither prudent nor wise. I value my neck, of course.
Auntie's Choice Stay Hungry Meal Pack, featuring our finest pre-sliced bread and...
That doesn't sound like a sanctioned communication.
Specially designed to be...
I was sad for a moment because my house got submerged in the flooding. Then the wireless told me everything was splendid. Now I feel much, much better.
Hungry. Nature made apples, but Auntie Fizzles made them better.
People, hello again. Here to help? Or just being friendly? Hard to say, since I don't know any other way. We have more sense of community than other places, which I couldn't imagine getting by without. Before the invasion, automechs took care of most things. I had plenty of time for my interests. Forays into nature, socializing. Must say I do look forward to mealtime around here. Arcadian tenderloin in particular remains a favorite. Hard to find a bad meal in the Protectorate, though. You haven't heard? When Antes invaded, they broke the seawall. Flooded nearly half the town below, where most of the domiciles were. A number of our subjects drowned. Others got concussed, or even crushed. A few were electrocuted or exposed to caustics. Took a while for our water purifier to catch up, so some drank tainted water, which is not good for you at all. I'm glad it's working again. Oh, we've all heard about Auntie's Choice grafting labs. Only cost you an arm and a leg. I do question their low-grade nostrums. Wireless says they are rushed to the market, might make everybody worse, hop them up, and gender dependence. Protectorate curatives are of the highest quality. So, I thank you for your advice, ill-considered as it may be. In the meantime, don't suppose you have any medical supplies to spare, do you? That you might kindly consider donating? You scare something up, you know where I am.
Trust the plan, observe set progress.
Do the advertisements help Auntie's folks straighten out their minds? Is it their version of our mental refreshment?
No, it feels like some kind of punishment. In fact, it feels like Auntie hates me.
ᴘᴜᴇᴅᴜᴜ is responsible for dumping several pounds of...
I'm sure this is all part of the paradigm.
You reckon individualists ever get tired just thinking about themselves?
Settlements and the many other flowering megaflora native to the colony, and you have a recipe for gunky...
That didn't sound like prudence at all.
And worse, unless you stockpile gadgets of all kinds, useful, mollifying the most,
Do you always put your hands on other people's things?
Give the order, and I'll take care of him, Commander.
decomposing fish.
Each a vital cog. Each a vital cog.
Word on the wireless is that Auntie's choice is years behind us sociologically. So they've started the war to grab any part of the paradigm that they can.
In fact, the former Protectorate subjects now abiding in Fairfield are free to choose any vocation they like and change occupations at the slightest of whims. This wildly unfettered personal freedom pervades every aspect of life in Angie's choice. Choice is in the name for a reason, my subjects. I hereby extend my personal invitation to you all.
Everything, literally everything I own is underwater.
So what do you mean? Everything we have belongs to the sovereign. We own nothing. But surely the Protectorate will provide anything you need.
Of course they will. Doubt is a tool at the end.
Outside. Admit I'm still cogitating over that offer on the loudspeaker.
With a direct message.
What?
I'm afraid you've been fed a lot of hooey about all of us at Auntie's choice. Your so-called from the truth. Listen to your auntie.
Certainly, a session of mental refreshment will help purge the non-parent.
Trust the plan, preserve set progress.
Prudence dictates we cherish our community.
You're part of a community. We say you're just part of the
Stranger? Hello again. Here to help? Or just being friendly? All right. Be careful out there.
That vacuous cacophony sets my teeth on edge. Well, look who it is. What is it? Speak your mind. Parts can be found at the Euphoria Coast Automech Repair Center to the south. Remember, do not tell anyone there what you're gathering them for. Now, please, make every...
Pertinacity, you...
be at least a few usable parts in here.
Uh-huh. Ah, it's warped. Just like everything else.
Let me know when you need a distraction.
Liquidate 'em! Armed and ready.
Who goes there? By orders of Marshal Donaldson, no one comes or goes to the Automech Repair Center without approval. What's your business here?
Oh, there's work, all right. The Marshal told us not to turn anyone useful away, and left us to interpret what that means.
Then again, what are the odds that an automechanical repair technician just happens by in a time of war? How do we know you aren't a spy from Auntie's choice? Yeah, I'm not buying it. Don't even try getting through this checkpoint without approval. We're low on everything but bullets.
Whether it's an orifice or a face, Auntie's choice makes a green for it.
And I'll take care of him, Commander.
Looks like a fight. Let me handle this.
No, Jackson, don't! Don't fret. With these boots, I can fly! Jackson, you're too young to be a crater in the dirt! Oh, law, I can't believe he jumped that way!
Sir, I know this isn't the time, but are they gonna put us to the gallows for this?
What? No!
That ain't how we operate in Auntie's choice, Liza. We might be looking at a pretty fierce demotion for losing half our workforce and getting stuck up here, though.
Demotion to fertilizer?
No. Now cease your jawing. This ain't the time. Hey, you! You down there! Would you mind checking on our fellow? Might he have survived the fall? Tragically, yes. If you gaze beneath us, you'll find a slew of blood and gore in the gears of this platform's articulating arm. That's Ida. She jumped there as we ascended. I can't fathom no sensible motive. She joined us shortly after Auntie liberated her with the freedom of meritocracy, and she seemed happy enough.
Were you not listening? She said she'd always be a loyal subject. It was part of the endless inculcation we endured in the Protectorate. It can prove insurmountable for some.
The notion that she'd sacrifice herself, even after seeing the vast possibilities in staying alive and climbing the corporate ladder, it's just impossible to cognize. No, wait! Please! You can't just leave us up here to die! The reason Jackson tried using those plasma thruster boots was to gather a piece of machinery we'd spotted on a little table halfway up the spire.
It's a drive overloader. If we install it, we can push the platform's arm hard enough to... well, to grind old Ida out of the gears.
Though the power of that overloader will deluge the system and, well, overload the drive and burn it out all permanent-like. But desperate times and all that.
So if you were to use them boots to bound up the spire and deliver the overloader to us, we'd avoid the tragic fate of our 2 former cohorts. What? It's your duty as a subject to...
No, Liza, remember, you're not Protectorate anymore. So, what have we talked about? A duties only.
Discharged if the disbursement is dutifully deserving. Right. Sorry, I'm just a little flummoxed by being stranded up here.
So, bits, stranger. We'll give you bits if you get us down before we starve. Poor Jackson wasn't raised in the Protectorate with a mind for science, and mistakenly thought the word thrusters meant he could fly. So he jumped the opposite way I told him. They're experimental. We'd not laid eyes on them before, but the data we found with them says they were actually designed to let people hop their way up the spire. If you activate the plasma thrusters when you're already airbound, they can give you a fair bit of extra boost. It should let you turn a quick hop into a surprisingly grand vault.
Thank the Sovereign... thank you, stranger. We are eagerly anticipating a long life utterly absent of starvation. Oh, you're by our crop of Brachythecium rotabulum. They're found in bandages and burn tinctures. If you don't have that drive overloader, ascending may be a waste.
That's it? It was that easy? That was some impressive climbing. Poor Jackson could have learned a thing or two from you. Starting with the right direction to jump, I suppose. Wonderful. Get us down, and I'll happily compensate you in accordance with standard Auntie's Choice urgently improvised extortive standards. Oh, thank the law. I never thought of myself as a vertiginous sort, but being trapped 100 meters in the air will make you reconsider.
I mirror that sentiment, to be certain. In fact, Auntie will have to pay me triple if heights are to be involved. And isn't it grand to be in a system that allows me that freedom?
What do you mean? You're already getting our urgently improvised extortive rate. Ha! Fair enough, stranger. What with the day's festivities, I imagine all our cerebellums are mighty strained. Here's your reward for evacuating us with all our parts intact. I perhaps ain't as awash in currency as I'd prefer, so you can have my helmet as well. It was useful for identifying crops we'd missed in our harvest, but to be honest, I'd like a little distance from plants for a spell.
Ain't sure what's worse, being disemboweled by a rapt or being audited round the clock by this creep.
What did I tell you? Unless you got approval, you can make like a sprat and skedaddle.
Now you've done it. Slowing down a ranking protectorate official is worth 10, 20 demerits if you're lucky.
All right, let's not lose our heads over a simple misunderstanding. You're free to pass. Marshal Donaldson likes to greet new arrivals personally. We'll let him know you're inbound, so no one shoots on sight. Oh, and fair warning, watch out for xeranium gas. We sprung a leak. Nothing too bad. Aside from the headaches, nightmares, missing teeth, and headaches. One more thing. Don't cause any trouble around these parts. Donaldson runs a tight ship and has zero tolerance for lawbreakers.
All that matters is getting these automechs to the Vox relay station.
But Marshal, we must adhere to decontamination procedures.
What in the name of the architect? Oh, right. My guards told me to expect a new arrival, right before our chief mechanist decided to harangue me with the latest on our catastrophe.
Marshal, you're acting as though I'm not standing here auguring the impending doom of this facility.
Woodrow, normally I would be obliged, nay, happy, to receive your senseless jawing, but not today. Perhaps this outsider can assist where you've failed. I hope you've come to help, because a crisis is bearing down on us, and I've a dearth of reliable hands with which to manage it. We may or may not have what you need. Speak with Hazel, our ever-reliable and ever-resourceful quartermaster. Like you, me and my consternated head technician are new arrivals, though we may not last long if we fail to repair the uranium leak. Ah, that's where you're in luck. Thanks to our resident uranium scientist, no one needs to die, perish, or suffer any injuries, grievous or otherwise. The Vox relay station needs our automechs. But until that leak is fixed, this facility is a target for the sport of Auntie's armaments. Delphinia Bryant is working on a prototype uranium shield. Whoever uses it will be less disposable and more useful to the Protectorate. What did I tell you, Woodrow? The situation's well in hand.
Marshal, those automechs have been corrupted with uranium. I can't even cogitate on what they're capable of if we lack the time or resources to approach this rationally. Should they go berserk, we may well be turning the very subject you intend to resupply into their victims. We'd be branded as traitors.
Then perhaps you had better explain to Brigadier Montelli why his defenses are grounded. And you can do so personally, in the comfort of his office.
Montelli? I rescind my objection. May the delicate workings of the paradigm point us toward a better way.
There's a good fellow. Cleave to your loyalty, and it will never steer you wrong.
Greetings, potential customer. State your business. This unit was engineered to facilitate management of supply inventory at this installation.
Oh, this is surely exciting. Someone is finally trying out my automechanical quartermaster. Show them what you got, quartermech.
Command not understood.
Huh. I thought that would have put it into sales mode. Best look into that later. Please, give it a try yourself.
All wares should be perfectly visible already.
Sorry, it tends to take things too literally. Maybe try phrasing the request differently.
Lull detected. Conversational status uncomfortable. Request not understood.
It only understands the words I've added to its databanks. You wouldn't believe how many words there are for buying and selling. Guess I missed peruse. Look, for now, just use the phrase initiate commerce. It's what I used during the initial testing.
Initiating commerce.
Don't think there's anything to gain by getting near it.
Oh, a new arrival. Ah, and what's this? You, I dare say, are exhibiting clear signs of zeranium exposure, stranger. Fortunately for you, you appear to have a fairly mild case. I imagine you haven't even noticed any symptoms yet. If you'd indulge me, I have a few questions I'd like to ask, for medical posterity, and so on and so forth. I'm afraid I require more information before I can render treatment. That will ensure you get the care you need, and it will only cost your time. First question, can you describe the conditions in which you were exposed to the zeranium? Indeed, someone lacking a trained eye would have missed the symptoms. However, I happen to specialize in this particular malady. All right, next question. How are you feeling? For instance, do your bones seem noticeably softer somehow? Have you observed any sterility on your way in? Or aching in your thyroid or spleen? Somewhat vague, but entirely understandable. As promised, you're due a round of advanced zeranium therapy of the highest possible quality. Apologies for any severe discomfort you may have experienced in the interim. There, that should do it. Do stop back in if you suffer additional exposure. I would love, be pleased to act as your consulting physician again, should the need arise. Normally, I'd say to ask the quartermaster, but he died a few weeks back. Perhaps he's been replaced since? I wouldn't know, as I've had my hands full since the attack. Failing that, I imagine you could ask the technicians here. One of them might know. Oh, gladly. I've rather dedicated my life to researching its unique form of matter. What would you like to know? Zeranium is a crystal. Even in its raw form, it generates energy, but once refined and stored in a quasi-gaseous state, its output increases exponentially. Zeranium is found in a liquid state as well, but it's far too hazardous and inefficient for our needs. Refined zeranium is used to power nearly all major protectorate technology. It's an amazingly efficient power source. However, it's also highly unstable and must be mined exceedingly carefully. Even minor bumps or jolts can cause zeranium crystals to explode. Total avoidance is best, but try to get out of the zeranium as quickly as you can if exposure becomes necessary. Come to think of it, there may be some exciting new breakthroughs in the near future. Our visiting scientist next door is working on a device that shields the user from zeranium's effects, though she was having a spot of trouble last I heard.
What brings you to this fine establishment?
Caught a piece of shrapnel during the attack. What about you?
Zeranium poisoning. Only a mild case, but the doctors are withholding treatment to study my symptoms.
Sovereign's mercy. How do you feel?
Downright privileged is how I feel. Sick with pride, nauseous with courage.
Oh yes, I adore interruptions. I was just saying, what's best for stoking the spark of invention? Regular disruptions to one's train of thought. Now, what is it you want? I might recommend the local quartermaster. It's their job to track and distribute this facility's supplies, after all. Ah, our good Marshal sent you, did he? Well, unfortunately, the device is taking longer than expected. A number of factors. Zeranium is dangerous, and we wouldn't want a researcher falling victim to their subject of study. The scarcity of volunteers is also a problem. Everyone wants to fix the gas leak, but no one wants to step inside a hazardous vapor. Now tell me, are you familiar with zeranium gas? One and the same. That building took the brunt of the damage during a recent attack, and now it's spewing valuable zeranium all over the place. I could speak at length about zeranium's many captivating intrinsic qualities, but suffice it to say, in its gaseous state, it's rather deadly. So what am I endeavoring to create? A protective device that shields its wearer from zeranium's remarkably unsavory effects, as well as other forms of harm. Quite splendidly, if I do say so myself. The principal function of the device is confirmed operational. I merely need to work out some minor implementation concerns. Alas, while I'm occupied with inventing this shield gadget, I also find myself in need of assistance regarding its key components. Good. Wonderful. As an added incentive, I'll allow you to keep one of the prototypes once the work is finished, so you be sure to give it your all. Now here, you'll need this apparatus. It's for collecting stray zeranium effluvium. Gas, that is. My supply is running low from all the iterative testing I've been performing. Merely activate the device once it's inside a zeranium cloud, the one around the main hangar specifically. Try to avoid any fields of dense zeranium, or death is all but assured. Any questions? Normally, yes, but on the off chance that environmental exposure has altered the gas here in any way, I'll want to work with local samples. Ideally, the resulting shielding will protect against any gas, but since it's of utmost importance that it work on the gas here, I'll be calibrating against that. Well, of course, obviously. To that end, I'd suggest choosing a cloud of lesser density for your collection efforts. Lower chance of near-instant death that way. If you suffer prolonged exposure, assuming you survive, see our local medical officer next door. She is highly preoccupied by the treatment of zeranium-related maladies. I believe that covers all the necessary education for this particular assignment. Oh, so exhilarating to have a new subordinate. I look forward to thoroughly scrutinizing your work. Now, shoo-shoo! Off with you now! Gather those samples! Shoo!
Welcome. Glad to have you back.
Commander, I think this stuff is eating my lungs from the inside.
My little minion. I trust you've made progress in your tasks? What did I tell you? Perfectly safe. Either that or you tolerate uranium poisoning like a champ. Good for you. Should you suffer from any lingering symptoms of contamination, visit the medical center and they'll get you squared away. Now, on to business. The device already generates a field exactly as specified, albeit on a very small scale. Still, progress is progress. What's needed now is something to help extend and shape the field around the user. I require a component called a catalytic amplifier. You'll be pleased to learn there's one right here at the facility, in the Dragoon that's patrolling just outside. Catalytic amplifiers are a somewhat outdated technology, available only in older model Dragoons. Unfortunately for me, our chief mechanist, Woodrow, wasn't enthusiastic about my proposal to geld his only combat automech. So you may have trouble getting your hands on the catalytic amplifier. Oh, certainly. They're all in the building blocked by uranium gas, which is why we're making the device. I trust you see how that's a problem. However, I do recall hearing this facility was originally assigned 2 Dragoons. I'm not sure what happened to the other one, though. It was gone by the time I arrived. I'm sure he's just being cautious. Should Auntie's choice attack us, we don't want to be caught defenseless. No doubt he also seeks to retain an unspoiled automech, since the others are by now riddled with uranium poisoning. Dragoons are a mainstay of our military. The design has been in production for decades. I had a model of one when I was young. All children did. You must have seen the large automech patrolling the interior grounds. That is the Dragoon. Good. A flexible mindset should behoove you on this task. Perhaps the chief mechanist will prove more receptive to your request. Failing that, be prepared to exercise creativity if needed. One last thing. The Dragoon must not be harmed. Not only would the amplifier likely be damaged, but we'd both be summarily executed, assuming we survive the firefight that ensued. Well, off you go. Shoo.
Ah, you're back. And you've been cavorting with uranium. Certainly, there is a nominal cost for treatment to cover essentials. All right then, hold perfectly still. There, all better. Was there anything else you needed?
Give me a sec. Almost done with this work list. Another sealant failure, amplifier requisition, and 2 more cases of uranium exposure. We're a mite bit busy these days. She and I have been over this 100 times. Please understand, the original staff of this facility were rounded up and refreshed because they couldn't safeguard a protectorate asset. Why should I follow their example by reducing our sole working Dragoon to a pile of unpatriotic scrap? I can't. I won't. If you're really so desperate, you can track down our second Dragoon. Damn thing wandered up the coast and hasn't been seen since. I'd have sent someone to retrieve it myself, but Dragoons are stubborn when their instructions are unclear. First, that would undoubtedly destroy the catalytic amplifier. Second, everyone here would turn their guns on you. You do that. Good hunting. Now, if you'll excuse me, there's work to be done.
Outer chassis sealant test number 14 is confirmed a failure. Uranium exposure rate appears to be unaffected. Test
Ah, you're back. And you've been... Certainly, there is a all right. There. All better. Was there anything else you...
I'm not sure we should get any closer. Cocked and loaded. Get the signal.
Well, any closer to obtaining the catalytic amplifier? Oh, superb! I'm almost tempted to ask how you managed it. But pressing on, just a moment to remove what I need and install it in the prototype. With this gadget, you'll be shielded against more than Zeranium, you know. Damn near everything, as long as it's charged. Now, report to Marshal Donaldson, if you please. He's rather impatient to end this crisis so he can turn his focus back to the war. You do that. Anything to keep him off my back for an hour.
prudence dictates. We cherish all we have and defend it.
Oh, unfamiliar clientele. I was just lamenting the lack of new faces around here since supplies stopped arriving. And then you walk in. Name's Hazel. I'm sort of the acting quartermaster around these parts. You need any supplies? Talk to my friend the quartermech here. You'd think that a fully stocked auto-mechanical repair center would have automech parts, and 9 times out of 10 you'd be spot on. Trouble is, a bunch of supplies went missing recently, right around the time the quartermech completed a routine inventory. You're not implying the quartermech is somehow responsible, are you? I'd hate for the big guy to get in trouble. The quartermech is my responsibility. Claim whatever parts you require from the missing supplies, and we'll call the matter settled. Delphinia's lab would be the place to search. We use it for storage, and our records indicate the supplies were present and accounted for.
Standard Earth Directorate protocol calls for a thorough grid search of the premises, Commander. Those parts are bound to turn up somewhere.
Are you acquainted with Delphinia? She's a scientist on loan from the Vox Relay, helping with the Zeranium leak and all. As she ought to be. Donaldson needs to get this facility back in working order. Otherwise, we're all bound for mental refreshment. On that happy thought, best of luck in your search. Do let me know if you need anything.
Ambient Zeranium levels are higher than average, but within acceptable ranges. State your business. This unit is incapable of misplacement. All transported goods are relocated in accordance with this unit's given directives.
Well, it was worth a shot.
May this unit be of further assistance? Initiating commerce.
Why choose just any choice when you could choose Auntie's choice? Remember, Auntie knows best.
Salutations, Arcadia. Auntie Cleo here with a direct message to all Protectorate subjects listening in. I'm afraid you've been fed a
Outside.
hooey about all of us at Auntie.
Admit I'm still cogitating over that offer.
Would have you believe we're unscrupulous intellectuals?
I'm loath to admit it, but the enemy propaganda sure does sound delicious.
No, nothing could be We respect the individual. We're providers, liberators, spreading free trade and self-betterment throughout the galaxy. I need to tell you personally, it's never too late to rebrand.
Of course, it's part of the Sovereign's plan.
Strange. Hello again. Here to help? Or just being friendly? Honestly? Well, I'm a reasonable judge of character, and you seem upright. On behalf of my patients and I, thank you. We're all grateful. Guess outsiders aren't all just base individualists like they say on the wireless. Barring this being some tricky sales strategy, that is. This is a good start, but I fear it won't last long. Wouldn't happen to know a reliable means to procure more, would you? Oh, they'd just take us all in? Provide us with all the food and medicine and housing we'd ask for, would they? Doesn't align with how I've heard them depicted on the wireless. This is dangerous talk, friend. We've already been branded traitors. If we give them any excuse now, they'll send in the arbiters directly. Not seeing a wealth of options here at present. I can watch my patients die, then face execution, or we can resettle elsewhere and remain alive. I lean toward the latter. The abandoned section of Westport ought to have some supplies. Should be enough medicaments down there to help our injured survive the trip to Fairfield. It's perilous, though. If you're sure it'll retain its efficacy, that might just do the trick. I recognize these patients require more care than I'm able to provide here. Seems like in Fairfield, I can get them the help they require. The one last additional thing we'll need is for Vigilant Hogarth to agree to it. It's less a concern about disloyalty, and more my respect for his abilities. He's a skilled leader, and we could sorely use his aid, from coordinating logistics to keeping up morale. I'll surely have my hands full with my patients. His presence on the journey would save lives. See you when I see you.
Exciting new molecules and curing such ailments as dropsy, sciatica,
Look who's back. Admit I'm still cogitating over that offer on the loudspeaker. What?
Whether it's an orifice or a face, Auntie's choice makes a cream for it.
Hello again. Have you spoken to Vigilant Hogarth yet? Did he give permission for me to leave? Of course. Toodaloo.
Of industrial facilities, chemical plants, slaughterhouses, and stockyards. Not only does it save the company a fortune, it's so
That vacuous cacophony sets my teeth on edge. Well, look who it is. What is it? Speak your mind. That is most excellent. Please, hand them over. Yes, we had what you outsiders call a deal. I promised you a means past the bridge and a way inside the Vox relay. There is wreckage from a crashed ship traversing most of the expanse. With the right equipment, the path will lead you directly to the Vox relay's main gate. Tell me, do you already have Protectorate jump boots in your possession? That's what I knew them as. The official title is Personal Plasma Thrusters, I suppose. Wouldn't know much about that, but you'll find they serve a practical purpose here. With them equipped, you'll traverse that path with relative ease. I'll prepare a writ of conscription to allow you entry to the Vox relay. While most would refuse my authorization, the sentry assigned to the gate once lived in Westport. Sentry second-class layman. Show the writ as proof I have conscripted you into my employ. Use it to press service on my behalf, and she will let you in. Once you're inside, there's someone else you should show it to. You do that and say what I tell you. It'd save many lives. I can't offer you anything for it, but you've proven yourself sympathetic to our cause. Consider you a compatriot now. I'm counting on you to do right by folks here once more. Hopefully, you'll return afterward and find Westport thriving, all on account of your efforts. That is the only reward I'm able to offer. Look, let's save ourselves some arguing. You've already helped me. I will grant you the writ. You can ignore my request, fine, but you'll at least hear me out. The Vox relay is, to my mind, a time bomb. Brigadier Montelli's lost his way. Now all manner of chaos is raging there. I've heard tell he's even resorted to extra-legal executions. Madness, I tell you. A brigadier doesn't act as judge, jury, and executioner. That's an arbiter's job. And even then, they're enforcing existing protectorate law. Why, isn't it obvious? As vigilant, I was his commander, and without my guidance, he was lost. All manner of chaos seems to be the order of the day at the station. Executions done in the service of order are an unfortunate necessity. Done at the whim of an individual, well, that's just one more depravity Antes has wrought upon us. Marshal Corbin, as with all my subjects, I have been there when he needed me. I trust we can call on him now to do his part. Seek him out at the Vox relay, conscript him with the writ, and this is important. You must convince him to kill Montelli. Corbin will want to talk him down, to take him into custody, to message superiors outside the facility beforehand. We cannot allow any of that to happen. If Corbin becomes the highest-ranking officer alive, no one will be able to contradict his accounting of events. The Protectorate execute connivers and schemers. Corbin must appear forced to take down Montelli in the moment. It cannot feel like a plotted coup. Good, good. Here is the writ. I may not survive to see what occurs, but I trust you to follow your conscience. Farewell now. Promise you'll return here if you can, to check in on my people and see how they fare. Nobody needs go anywhere. Not when we can still save Westport. We of the Protectorate endure as one, regardless of any hardships we must face. It'd have to be catastrophically obvious this place was doomed, and incontrovertibly beyond my means to save it, before I'd even consider such a recourse. Well, that's what's commonly referred to as your opinion. Farewell now.